Hi, my name is Maria Granados and welcome to our Special Education Department. As we know, providing high enriched education for students with disability is our priority. For early 1970, many changes have happened due to parents, family members, and staff personnel that have advocated for students with disability to receive a fair, free, and appropriate education they deserve. Before 1970, many students were excluded from attending a public school due to a disability. In 1918, all states adopted the law to enforce students to attend school, in which is mandated to do so after both Massachusetts and Vermont initiated the law. But unfortunately, students with disability were not allowed to attend the public school system. One case that marked a major change in education system was the Brown versus Board of Education in 1954. In this case, argued that segregation in the school system was unconstitutional under the 14th Amendment when students of color did not receive the proper education due to race. Based on this case, the people argued that students with a disability were also not given the education that students without a disability were being provided, which meant that it was considered unconstitutional as well. Brown versus Education was also played a role in cases like the Pennsylvania Association for Retard Citizen versus Pennsylvania in 1972, as well as the Mills versus Board of Education, where it claimed that students with retardation could benefit from receiving education early in life as they grew older and continued their academic environment through the public school setting. As per Mill's case, it offered parents with a due process guard. In other words, it provided parents with due process procedures for students with disability. For example, the right to appeal a decision, access their child's school records, as well as written data of each process their child goes through when being assessed through special education, which later became mandated for any future cases that parents go through when the child is receiving special education services. As we know, many cases also assist in shaping the rights of the students with disability as well as for their parents. In one case was Hong versus Doe, who noticed that students with disability did not receive the support mandated by the Education of All Handicapped Children Act, and were suspended for their inappropriate behavior. The school violated the state put provision, which a student could stay in school during their review because they were both suspended or expelled from their school. This case assured that the student with disability must have appropriate resources and services they need mandated by the law, and supervised expel was not an option. The other case was the important to the student and parents' right was the Workman versus Parma City School District, which indicated that the parents of the student with disability had a right to speak on the behalf of their child to fight for what the idea stands for when the child is not receiving the service needed to him. In this case, the parent argued that the child was not receiving the free appropriate education he deserved and placed this child in a private school instead of the public school that the district had approved. The case argued that the parents could not argue the idea stand because they were not lawyers, but the workmen stated that in the idea it does not state anywhere that they couldn't. This also re-emphasized the parents' involvement with the idea represents. To parents, guardians, and family members who have family or know someone who has a child with disability, need to keep themselves informed of any new laws and resources to assist them in making a child a successful student in life. Some resources to keep up to date information are to join the advocacy group. For example, in the state of Texas will be the Texas Council of Development Disability, also known as the TCDD. Another resource will be speaking to the child's special education teacher or department in your school district. You could also join a blog, a newsletter that gives information on special education and its laws. Right Law's Way is a blog that updates information daily that could be helpful to see any changes. This website also provides information on other cases and free resources that could assist you in many different levels. The most important thing is to stay informed of any changes that could affect your child's academic growth. I hope you find this information helpful and have a wonderful day.